Hi and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share my mental health story for such a long time now. Every time the mental health day would come around in like 2016, 2015, I remember I always wanted to share my story and talk about it on Instagram in a post. I had my paragraph written, ready to be posted, but it always got deleted or it was unable to post. And I was just thinking maybe it wasn't the right time to share my story, maybe it just wasn't the right time. But I feel like now is the time. The message of this video and how I have planned it back in 2015 was first of all to share awareness. Back then I remember not a lot of people knew about anxiety or panic attacks or mental health issues. It was like a taboo topic, I remember. And a lot of people were also thinking, oh, you're like crazy for having that. You're crazy for being mentally ill, mentally unstable. You're crazy for having mental problems. It was just seen as something negative and bad. And guess what? A lot of people that have laughed at me, guess what? Those people have mental health issues themselves now. Shout out to my classmates. With that, I just want to say, you never understand something once you experience something yourself. And I also wanted to share my story because I wanted someone out there to feel less lonely. With sharing awareness, I also wanted to break the stigma about mental health. In fact, these people aren't crazy, they just need healing and to understand what it is that they're going through. Back then, we weren't that spiritually advanced. I also wanted to get the message across that healing is so possible and that you can heal yourself from that. So now I just want to share my anxiety and depression story. Bear in mind, this is a very hard topic to talk about, a very emotional, very personal topic that actually not a lot of people know in my life, except for my parents and yeah, like my best friend, and that's it. When did it all start? When did I have my first panic attack? I had my first panic attack when I was 12 years old. I was back in 2012. And how did that happen? So there was like a school party at my school. I don't really remember in what grade I was in, but my year was invited until like the last year. And obviously alcohol wasn't allowed, and some of my friends back then wanted to drink like energy drinks, as energy drinks were seen as something like forbidden and like you should drink it when you're like 12 years old. We were somewhere outside before the party. We were outside in our school yard. My friends were consuming those energy drinks. I didn't want to drink an energy drink, but I took a sip of my friend's bottle. As my friends were drinking it, as I had a sip of this energy drink, my friends were started to talk about, once in the news there was like some article that someone had an overdoses of energy drinks, right? And I don't know what was happening in my mind, but I was like, oh my god, I drank that, and also my heart started to just like beat very fast, and basically I thought I was gonna die from like having one sip of energy drink. So I kind of started to have anxiety from this story, and I don't know, something in my mind was going on, okay? And I was having like slight anxiety. I was feeling like very anxious. My heart was beating fast. I don't know. So we went into that party. My anxiety was like calming down. So we went inside into that party. I don't really remember that much, if I'm honest. I know we were dancing and like having snacks there and whatever, but then like I basically forgot about this thing that caused my anxiety. But I remember the party being over and I was waiting for I think my mom picked me up. After the party, I remember being very anxious. I just felt like very, very anxious. And I've never experienced that, okay? So that was like my first anxiety and panic attack. So we go home, back at home, like here in this house, my panic attack started. I know it was kind of like caused by my thoughts for some reason. That's the only thing I knew. It was like, oh, we were just like thinking that, and now I have like this anxiety because I think about something horrible, I tried to sleep. But my anxiety, my panic attack wouldn't go away. And I was like telling my mom about it. Like the symptoms that I had were, I was feeling dizzy. I was like, I thought I was gonna die, all right? So I was feeling very dizzy and my heart was beating fast. I was like, felt very warm, and I was also shaking. That was like my first panic attack. It somehow calmed down after like 5 hours. Like that was such a long panic attack too, but it calmed down, and then like the next day it was like as if nothing has happened. That was my first ever panic attack without even knowing that this was a panic attack. I didn't even know what it was called. My mom also didn't know. What happened after this first panic attack? I kind of developed a fear of fire. So suddenly I was scared of everything that had to do with fire. Suddenly I was scared of like thunderstorms, lightning, like natural disaster, like hurricanes around the world. Like I was so scared of that. I was also so scared of hot weather. Like everything that was like threatening, I was suddenly scared of. Like this is how my anxiety started. Suddenly I was scared of like a lot of things. I also remember having anxiety every night, like every evening before going to bed. I was like laying in my bed and I was just having anxiety. I was like shaking, couldn't sleep, and I would still go to school every morning. I don't know how I did that. It was hard for me to watch movies in school because they were very violent. It was either about war, or what I really hate is like medieval times. It's horrible for me. I don't know, I couldn't watch those movies. They would give me anxiety. I would sit in class and have anxiety. I also didn't have a pleasant time at school because I was bullied by teachers for whatever reason or no reason at all. To this day, I don't know why. So I started to feel very uncomfortable at school. As you know, when you are like 12 years old, this is where you spend your most time at your school. And yeah, I was just starting feeling very comfortable at school. I was becoming very, very anxious about a lot of things. Very sensitive to a lot of things. I started to have a fear of being in like big crowds, or when we had to wait for something. I don't know, I would have not that much patience suddenly, and I would just like start to panic and like cry in public. As I was having anxiety every night before going to bed, and as we also didn't know what that was and why I had that, me and my mom decided to go to a doctor to like do checkups, is everything all right in my body? We had an appointment at the doctor, and I remember while we were in the waiting room, I started to have a panic attack. My mom asked at the reception if we could see a doctor right now so they can like look at it, what was happening with me basically. So I was there, and the doctor, she showed me like a technique to like calm down, because I think she knew what was happening, like what this was called, but she showed me a technique to like calm down. And she was saying something to my mom, but I don't remember because I was just sitting there. Everything was like blurry around me. My face was so warm, and I just basically couldn't really hear, couldn't really see everything. I was just like having a very bad panic attack. Everything just felt so unreal. She advised us to go to another doctor. That is basically what you do when you have anxiety. You go to a doctor, you do checkups, and if everything is all right with your body, you just know that it is mentally. I remember being so exhausted from this panic attack. I just wanted to sleep and go home. I remember having a very bad headache. So we were there at the other doctor. So I think we were doing, I don't remember. Honestly, like x-rays, like of my heart. He was like checking out if like everything is all right with my heart. Everything good, all good, healthy. One thing I remember being so mad about, as we were almost out of the door and leaving, this doctor, he said that this may happen when you get stressed. Oh, thank you for that information. Like I'm still so mad about this, because that could have saved many years of me healing. He basically said that happens when you stress, that's normal. Is it? I was so angry about it that he didn't explain what that was. He didn't explain how to heal it, what to do further, nothing. Thank you for that information. Which led me basically to figure out that myself. He didn't even mention that this was a mental issue. Nothing. Do you think my parents know about that? Do you think anyone knows? No. Knowing that everything was fine with my body made my anxiety fade away for a while. Suddenly it was 2015, panic attacks were coming back, and at this time I would have panic attacks during class. I would feel extremely uncomfortable in school. My grades weren't that good anymore because I just couldn't focus that well. I just basically started to really hate school. I felt so uncomfortable. I didn't want to go there anymore. Also in that time, my gut health wasn't really good. I don't know why. Maybe because of this whole stress, maybe because of my panic attacks, that has maybe affected my gut health, my stomach. I would have really bad stomach pain. I gained weight and I didn't feel like myself anymore. I would throw up a lot, like in the morning, either before breakfast or after breakfast. I would feel dizzy and everything felt so surreal, as if I just wasn't here. I was somewhere else. Everything felt so unreal, like here, everything, which made me very anxious to leave my house or be in school, because I was feeling so dizzy and like everything felt so surreal. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to faint. This is how I was feeling, so I was like so panicky about it. I felt so uncomfortable and so sad, and all I wanted to do was just cry because I felt not good. I was hyperventilating, or whatever it's called, hyperventilating like the whole day. I couldn't really be at home alone because I was not feeling good. I started to eat like every 3 hours. I was hungry a lot and I was so exhausted, which, like I said, it became very hard to go to school. I would start to cry before school, actually like panic to go out of the house. And I tried so hard to go to school, especially because it was almost the last year. It was year 10, somewhere in the middle of year 10. I had to finish year 10 and go to year 11, and in year 11 I would have graduated. I was feeling so sick mentally and also physically. I also became intolerant to gluten. I couldn't eat gluten anymore. Everything was just so bad that I myself decided to drop out of school with the focus on healing myself, getting better. That was my focus. That was the only reason why I dropped out of school. I was like, no, this is not how we're gonna do things anymore. I just need to focus on my health, on myself, to listen to myself, what it was. Like, that was the only thing that I knew was the right decision. Guess what? Everyone was against it, of course. I'm so proud that I listened to myself, or else I wouldn't be here. It was the right choice, and always please listen to yourself. I was now at home, which I was so thankful for. I myself suggested to go to therapy, and back then I didn't even know what therapy was, but I knew I needed it. And I also want to tell you, how did I know that this, what I was experiencing, was called a panic attack? So one day I was on YouTube looking at YouTube videos, and there was a video of Zoe Sugg, titled something about like panic attacks, dealing with panic attacks or whatever. I clicked on it. I didn't even know what panic attacks were. I was just interested to listen to her talk, I guess, because back then I really loved the British YouTubers, and I still do. So I was just listening to this video, and she was talking about her anxiety, her panic attacks. She was basically explaining what was happening, what that was. And guess what? It so resonated with me that I broke down crying. I was like, oh my god, finally someone has told me what this was. I was so happy, honestly. I was like, wow, this is like the puzzle piece I needed. So I know now what I can do, how I can heal myself. I'm so thankful, Zoe Sugg. Honestly, thank you. Your video has helped me and a lot of people out there, I think. So this is how I basically found out, and I ran down the stairs to my mom. I was on this couch panicking, crying, and telling her this is a panic attack. This is called a panic attack. So I knew that I wanted to have therapy, to go to therapy. And actually it's funny that no one suggested that or told me to just like take a break, because back then no one knew about like mental health issues and how to heal that and what this person needs. And I, me, I don't know from where I got this message. Maybe the universe, maybe an angel told me, maybe my soul, I don't know. The only thing that I was like hearing was like, you need to take a break. I didn't know how, because I was in school, and in Germany you have to go to school. You have to. You can't just be like at home. So that was very hard. I was like kind of rebelling for that, because that was like not what you do. But I knew I needed that. No one asked me, am I okay? Am I happy? No one did that. That was the first time that I asked myself. Everyone was asking just like, are your grades good? Are you gonna graduate? What are you gonna do after school? That seemed like the most important thing ever. I just knew that I needed to get away from all of this to heal whatever has caused me to feel so sick. That was the only right question I should have answered. And I was the only one asking. I was just so happy at home, honestly. I was going to therapy once in a week. I was seeing many different therapists because I tried to find someone who was like compatible with me to work on my issues, or to uncover my issues first of all, because I didn't know why I had this. I didn't take any medication even though it was prescribed to me, my mom, and I was so against it. So this one therapist prescribed me something natural, something, I don't know, made out of a plant, which I love. I love natural medicine. I just love nature. Nature is medicine. But these things that she prescribed me, they were natural, but they would cause me anxiety. I would take these things, this pill, and I would have anxiety from that, so I didn't take it. So I was seeing many therapists that just wanted me to take pills so I could go back to school. That was the therapy resolution. I was against it because I dropped out of school to just breathe for a second, to find and fix the issue that I had, until I found one therapist that I was a lot more compatible to work with. She wouldn't prescribe pills to her clients because she was working how I was like wanting to work, to find the issue and to fix it. I don't know, 15-year-old me knowing about it, even though not having like a psychologist degree. So I felt understood with this person. I felt like I could trust her with whatever it is that wherever these problems came from. I trusted her from like the first session, and she also reassured me that we can work through these problems. And she also didn't push me to go to school. My mom told her that I was, having anxiety of going to school. Like, how else do you want to put it? Anxiety to go to school. You don't have anxiety to go to school. You just go to school every day, but you have some kind of other issue, and that just like, combines everything. So she asked me what I was doing in that meantime. I was answering that question with, so I was doing a lot of creative things like drawing, singing, writing, going for walks, like relaxing, doing meditation, doing yoga. This is how my days looked like. And she replied, that's correct. This is the right thing that you do, because these are many things that heal you. I did therapy with her for I think about a year. I don't remember. She told me to, we can do as many sessions as we need to until I'm like, on my own feet again. I remember this time as the most horrible time, but the most beautiful time at the same time. My gut health was getting better. I was also seeing like a healing practitioner, whatever it's called, for like my gut health. Like that's a I wrote that down. Oh my god. Naturopathic profession in my country, which is Germany. No, these people use natural things. It's not like a shaman, herbs, but it is a profession that you can learn here. It's not like a doctor who prescribes pills. It's just like they use natural things and sounds and whatever. And as you may know, I believe in nature. I am also spiritual, but we're gonna get to that point later. But she diagnosed me with gluten intolerance. So I did a gluten-free diet for maybe 1.5 years. I didn't eat gluten at all. She prescribed me vitamins, probiotics. Also, I suffer from, oh my god, what is it called? Neuroderm. I just have to Google that 1 second. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to tell you what it is called in German, and I'm gonna write it here in English. Neurodermitis. So it's like an eczema that I had since I was 1 year old, apparently because of stress. Yeah, but that kind of broke out like on my face. I had it on my face here, on my elbows. That was like very bad, and it had something to do with my gut health at that time, and also all the stress. So I should just be very careful what I eat, and stress, these two factors. Basically, it was all poison from the past showing up in my symptoms on me. The bullying, the abuse that was going on, emotional abuse, physical abuse in my childhood, in school, in my teenage years. The frustration with not being able to fulfill my dreams, failing, everything that wasn't good, little or big traumas from my childhood, from the past, basically showed up in these symptoms on me, on my body. I also had somewhat of a spiritual awakening at that time. I heard voices, very good voices, talking to me, guiding me. I started to get messages. I started to listen to myself, to my heart, to my intuition, to my gut feeling. I trusted this feeling, this voice, because it felt right. It felt familiar. I was pushed on the path that I was ignoring for such a long time because there was no other way. I started to remember why I'm here, what my purpose is, what life is about, what I have forgotten, what I have remembered spiritually. I found meditation, I found the law of attraction, I found yoga. Life was getting very exciting for me, if I'm honest. I was writing a lot. I wrote like a movie script. I sat down and started to write many book ideas and started to write stories. I started to write songs. There's so many songs. Couldn't also sing. I don't think I can still sing, but it's fun. Sometimes do covers. I was exploring that for a while. New music, Tumblr, the Tumblr page. I was going to concerts. I was spending a lot of time with myself, and I really enjoyed that. I honestly so enjoyed that. It's safe to say that I haven't learned anything that I need right now in school except for the English language. So I healed from that. It took me about like 1.5 years to up to 2 years. I was done with therapy. I wanted to go back to school because I hadn't had a degree, and I could go to the last year, and I also wanted to graduate. Not only it wasn't really for me, it was more for my parents because they have paid all these years at this horrible school that I hated so much because it was a private school. And luckily, they didn't want me back. Luckily, because then I went to a different school, completely like you don't have to pay, like it's from the country. And honestly, this was like the best time I've ever had. I was in a class where the people are the sweetest people that I'm still in contact with to this day. These people are so sweet. The teachers were so nice, were never pushing us down. I was like, oh my god, I'm at the right place at the right time. I had my first boyfriend there. I don't know. There were like so many new beginnings, so many things, and like I felt like I was born new, honestly. A whole new world. It was like the best time ever, and to this day, I'm so thankful. Everything has happened how it should have happened, honestly. I was just at the wrong place, and the universe took me and brought me to the right place. I'm so thankful. This is what I always remember. Even though it was horrible. Even though it was horrible, but only me, only I know what it took to get better, and like I'm so proud of myself. That's why I know I'm capable of many, many things, because I've seen a darkness and I'm here. I'm here. And that's why no one can try to make me feel bad about myself. That is why no one can tell me who I am, because only I know who I am. Only I know what I've seen. So if people try to make me feel bad, that's not gonna happen. It's not working. So that was like in 2016. I went to that school in November. I graduated somewhere in like June, May of 2017. And life was good. Life is still good. Like everything is fine. I now know that I have to take care of myself spiritually, mentally. I know what is good, what is not good for me. People, food, places, situations. I'm just so aware of a lot of things, and I'm so glad that I listened to myself, because that was the only thing that has helped me, listening to myself. Even though I didn't knew where universe would take me, because it's like in this country, you cannot just like drop out of school, like, because then you are a crazy person. You've seen it as a failure, because you just need to take a break to fix some things on your own journey that society and those people don't accept. Whatever, who cares about them? You should only care about yourself. I was doing so many new things. Rebirth, that's how it felt. And of course, to this day, I still get anxiety. And I think there's one thing I also need to mention. Very sad thing. I don't want to cry. I think this kind of needs to be talked about in this video too, because it also plays a role. A very sad thing has happened, and my mom has passed away in 2021 in November because of COVID. And as you can tell by the whole story that I've told you with my anxiety, my mom was someone I could trust and go to whenever I was having a panic attack, and she was kind of the only person I would feel safe with her. I would panic and she would just be by my side, and that was so good with me. And there's a picture. And after that has happened, obviously my anxiety, my panic attacks came back, and they were so bad, and I felt like so unsafe in life, I guess. Like I start to have such bad anxiety again, because the person who was there with me suddenly wasn't there anymore. And I also wasn't at work for like 3 months after that, after I had such bad anxiety. Yeah, but everything is fine now. But you know, life isn't just like this. We heal from something and then like it's always healed. No, I still do suffer from anxiety sometimes because life is crazy. A lot of things make me indeed anxious, but I know that I can trust the universe. I can trust God, whatever I believe in, my angels. I know that I'm protected and safe, and that I can trust, and that I'm not alone in this world, even though it may seem scary. That everything is fine, and I think she's also proud of me, and I know that she listens to me. After you have healed from depression, you still sometimes get depressed. You still have phases of depression. I didn't really talk about depression in my video. So obviously, as it was 2015, I was feeling so sick. I was so depressed. I was so depressed. I fell into like a hole, and I thought there was no light at the end of the tunnel, but there was, and I knew that even though I couldn't see it. And if you are ever in a situation like this, just know, first of all, be strong. You are so strong, honestly. And you know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you are capable of changing your own life in many ways. And only you know what you need, and healing is so possible, and it is your birthright. If something is making you feel bad, you shouldn't like stay in that situation. You can always change it, and life is hard. I do get depressed too. Like after I healed from my depression, I still have moments or days in my life where I just struggle with it. Honestly. Where I just feel like, oh no, I'm like, why am I so sad again? Why am I so depressed? And one thing I know, that like spirituality has helped me a lot. That has helped me a lot. So you need to find something that helps you, and it will help you over and over again. It's like medicine for you. And the same with anxiety. Yes, it's so annoying when you are a sensitive person in this fucked up world here. But it's all good, and it is always going to be good. And I just wish you healing. I don't want to cry, like, because I need to go to work right now. And I wish you so much love, blessings. I wish you healing, love. You are protected, you are guided. Just listen to yourself. You are so strong. I'll just do a lot of more topics, a lot of more videos on these topics, because I feel like I've experienced so much with this, and I feel like the world needs to hear it, or I feel like there are a lot of people who would, who it would help. The same with like Zoella. Zoe Suck did a video, like I talked about in this video. If she wouldn't have done this video, probably to this day I still wouldn't know that this was called a panic attack, or the healing would have taken much longer. So everything happens for a reason. In 2015, my number one quote was, everything happens for a reason. And yeah, everything happens for a reason. Thank you so much for watching my video.